Hi, everybody. This is the baseball head, the amazing, spectacular, terrific, the great one, the people's champion, your host, the heart. Oh my God is right. My goodness. Mets won again, believe it or not, 7-2. There's a lot to believe in this team right now. First time they had been to 500 since May 2nd. Almost 2 months, folks. What a long journey it's been back to 500. This team was 11 games under 500 at one point. And it didn't look good. Even your host, who's very hopeful, did not feel that hope when they were down so low. They're now half a game back at the last wild card spot, just so you know. They beat the Astros, on a red-hot Astros team, by the way. They had won 7 in a row, and the Mets just beat the tar out of they just beat the tar out of them. The Astros took a 1-0 lead in the first inning. The shortest man in the world. Don't tell him to take his shirt off during a celebration. Jose Altuve. And then the Mets tied the game up in the first inning. And really, they answered them right away. This Mets team, I'll tell you, they're doing everything right. To the end, not having Cody Senga here now. Hopefully he'll be back very soon after the All-Star break. They've been doing without him. Jose Quintana did not go 5 innings in this game. He struggled in the first inning. It took 45 minutes to play the first inning, at least. So that first inning was laborious. That's what Howie Rose was saying on the radio. Laborious. It was a long first inning. And he got taken out in the 5th inning, and it was a rough 5th inning for Adam Ottavino, but he got through it. The Mets were able to take the lead in this game in the 6th inning, a long home run by Pete Alonso. And, of course, that 3-run shot by that barely got over the wall by Jeff McNeil. Jeff McNeil had a big game. He had a good defensive 6th inning, and then he hit the 3-run home run in the 6th inning to put the Mets out in front and keep them there for the most part. But the vibe has changed so greatly. I figured the team was going to get to be better. I thought this group was going to get better. Prior to the season, I was very concerned about the first 2 months of the schedule because I thought it was a very hard schedule for a team that was they didn't make any moves in the offseason, as you know. They just sort of stood pat. They made a lot of moves on the edges. But these moves on the edges have been awesome moves. They pretty much worked out for the most part. And if they didn't work, like say Joey Wendell, out of here, And really, they've had a very short hook, David Stearns has done a great job, and he's had a very quick hook to get rid of these guys that aren't doing a good job. And the whole vibe of this team is totally different. Since that team meeting they had, most team meetings do not have this kind of result. But this group knew that if they didn't pull this thing together, get themselves together, then in all likelihood, a lot of them were going to be gone. And I think a lot of them realized we don't want to leave. I guess they all kind of like each other, and they just sort of said, all right, let's get this going. And that's what they decided to do. And that was a month ago. And now the schedule has gotten better. And according to the records of the teams they're going to be facing move forward, let's have the easiest schedule now. We never used to talk about this stuff back in the day, the strengths and the weaknesses of the scheduling, because everybody plays the same, but when you get grouped in, we talk about it more. It's more, I find it interesting. But to see that the schedule is going to get easier. However, they do play, I'm sure they played the Marlins, if I recall correctly, in September. And that's always a chore. But, and they play the Phillies a lot in September. That'll be interesting, too. I would mention about the Phillies, they lost Bryce Harper and Kyle Schwarber on the same night. Bryce Harper has a hamstring issue, and Schwarber has a groin issue. Well, we'll see what happens there. But right now, the Mets are right on the cusp, and they're 1 game over 500 now. They have a winning record. They're a winning team. They put so much work to get in. Now they have to keep maintaining it, manage it. Keep going. Now, tomorrow is going to be a tough game for the Mets in terms of on the mound, because Tyler McGill is going against the Astros tomorrow. And like I said, the Astros have won 7 in a row. The Mets, were able to answer them tonight. But Tyler McGill has not pitched well, as you know. He's kind of hanging on for his job. He might have one more start left in him, maybe 2 more starts, and then they're probably going to pull the plug on him. or they'll just take it to the All-Star break. I don't know what their plans are for him. But he has plenty of options to go back to the minor leagues, and that's probably what they'll do at some point if his performance on the mound doesn't improve. And in particular, the first inning, that is the big bugaboo of this group. David Peterson had that issue the other night. Jose Quintana had that problem, and obviously in the previous start, Tyler McGill had that issue too. The Met bullpen, Adam Ottavino went one inning, gave no runs, no hits. It's a little shaky, struck out a batter. The Daniel Nunez came back into the game, pitched 2 innings, 3 hits, 1 walk. Jake Diekman, 1 inning, 1 hit. And Reed Garrett, who scares the hell out of me too. 1 run, no runs. Pitched 1 inning, gave up 2 hits, and struck out the final batter of the game. But let's keep rolling. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just a combination of a lot of things. And it might be Grimace. Who knows? He's a silent inspiration. Well, whatever. And it was a good pitch, by the way, that first pitch that he threw at Citi Field a few weeks ago. Awesome. I would mention the last 13 games, the Mets have outscored the opponent 100 runs to 49. So this is not just, getting quality pitching, but the Mets have just absolutely destroyed these teams. At least one game in the last few series, they destroyed the pitching of the opposition. The Yankees, they destroyed in one game. The Chicago Cubs, they destroyed in one game. The Rangers, I wouldn't call this an ass kicking tonight, but that's sort of been the trends. The Met offense, finally some runs, folks. Finally some runs. I've been screaming for years, even before I was doing anything on YouTube, score some runs for us. So we don't have to watch these 1-0, 2-1 losses all the time. And then finally got it. The key guy in this whole situation has been JD Martinez. Because I didn't realize that this guy was this sort of, you don't think of much of a designated hitter as being a leader. He came in here. He did play, obviously, because they signed him very late spring training. He basically then went to the minor, then was doing his, trying to get ready. And then he got hurt. Then he didn't really get here until May. And by that time, the team was kind of in the beginnings of their insane May. 7-19 in May. 9-19 in May, whatever it was. It was such a terrible May they had. And he came in, he started hitting, and he started critiquing the other guys. He started talking to the other players on this team. And you see the difference. You see the difference with Pete Alonso. You see the difference with Mark Vientos. And really you see this sort of building to the crescendo that where we're at right now. And that's leadership. But like I said, it's not just leadership in the clubhouse. It's not just leadership in the dugout. It's also leadership on the field. The Mets are on the cusp, folks. When they were playing the Marlins a few weeks ago in that third game, that they were going to lose that series. And that walk-off home run by JD Martinez basically saved this season because this team was on the verge of just absolutely collapsing. That game changed everything. And ever since then, the Mets have played great. And that was like the day after the Grimace game. But that game really turned everything around. And that's really... The Mets were in big trouble, at that point. They lost 2 out of 3 to the Marlins, and the Marlins have been terrible. And have had all these injuries, and they traded Arias, who's going to win another batting title. You didn't want that. But that's where it began. And after that, he started talking, I guess, more during these meetings. He was very involved during the team meeting, very involved in these hitters meetings, talking to the hitters, and I was obviously performing on the field. The number one quality of a leader is doing it yourself too. And then the Mets started moving the lineup around. They put Lindor leading off. They put Nimmo in third for a while, but that didn't really work. That wasn't working for him and for the Mets. But they put him in number 2. They put Martinez, who's the best hitter on this team. They bat him third every day. They leave him alone. They DH him. They put Pete clean up. Alvarez. And the funny thing is this lineup the Mets have had, Mets lineup right now, is the same lineup they've had the last 3 days. I'm watching a clip of the Mets postgame on SNY, and Jose Iglesias is singing this song in front of the crowd. I would mention about this song. It's a nice song. It's nothing bad about it. I don't know what the hell he's singing, but really, it has galvanized this team and this fan base, which I'd never seen, and just seeing how the players love this song. For an athlete, it's a good song. It's a nice song. It's sweet. There's nothing negative about it. It's something really nice. And I saw a little bit. I listened to it today. Believe it or not, you might not believe it. I did listen to it a little bit today. It's a nice song, and it's good to see that that this team is galvanized towards it and enjoying it, and to see the Mets winning. They're winning. Now, before they came into the game today, before I end this video, they were 4 games behind the Braves. 4 games behind the Braves. The Braves were second place. Better watch out. Better watch out. The Braves did not play that great, to be honest with you. But just wanted to mention that as sort of a side note. Because there's payback that's got to come now. Hoping the Mets will keep this winning going. But there is payback down the road. For all these teams and for all these fan bases. Just leave it at that. Well, anyway, thank you for watching this video. And I have more stuff on the Mets. Keep your eye out for sure. It's going to be a very busy day here at the Baseball Hut. Thanks for watching. Have a good night. Let's go Mets, OMG, and God bless Grimace.